Every legend leaves a trace. Some linger in memory, others in things that were never meant to fall into human hands. In the Myths Belief Store, you'll find artifacts, talismans, and relics steeped in the darkness of ancient faiths. Enter if you dare to touch what is forgotten and terrifying. Link in the description. In ancient times, people believed that the line between man and beast was as thin as a spider's thread. That a single mistake, a single curse, a single glance into the eyes of something one was never meant to see could make a person stop being themselves. In many cultures, people whispered about beings who shed their human skin at night and took on the form of a predator. One of the oldest of these stories is the legend of him of Lykalion, a man who became a wolf. Or perhaps, a wolf who only pretended to be a man. Lykalion was the king of Arcadia, proud, cruel, and convinced he could deceive even Zeus. According to the myth, he wanted to test whether the god truly saw everything. He prepared a feast in Zeus's honor, and among the dishes he served, human flesh. In some versions, it was his own son, in others, a guest he had murdered. Lykalion wanted to see whether Zeus would recognize the blasphemy. The moment the god approached the food, the air thickened and the banquet hall trembled. Zeus understood instantly what had been done. In his fury, he struck Lykalion's palace with a thunderbolt, destroying it completely. But he did not kill the king. He decided death would be too merciful. Instead, he cursed him. Lykalion's body began to twist, his bones cracked, his skin darkened and sprouted coarse fur. His jaw tore open into the muzzle of a predator, but the transformation was not complete. It was brutal, painful, and irreversible. Beneath the fur, human bones still showed through, and in his eyes burned the awareness of a man who remembered who he once was and hated what he had become. From that moment on, Lykalion wandered the forests of Arcadia as a werewolf, larger, darker, and more dangerous than any natural beast. His howl sounded like the scream of a man begging for release, and the shadow he cast resembled a human silhouette more than that of an animal. People believed his punishment was eternal, and that anyone who met his gaze might share his fate. The motif of a man transformed into a wolf has become one of the foundations of modern pop culture. Although the name Lykalion is not always mentioned directly, his legend echoes through countless works. In literature, we find traces of this story in Bram Stoker's Dracula, Whitley Strieber's The Wolfen, and the tales of Angela Carter. In video games, the theme of lycanthropy appears in The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, The Witcher 3, Bloodborne, Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, Werewolf, The Apocalypse, and Dark Souls, where the man-beast symbolizes the loss of control over one's own nature. In films and series, a similar atmosphere appears in The Wolfman, Ginger Snaps, Underworld, Hemlock Grove, and Dog Soldiers. In many of these stories, the werewolf is not a monster by choice, but a victim of a curse, just like Lykalion. The idea of a human losing themselves and becoming a predator is one of humanity's oldest fears. And that is why the legend of Lykalion has survived for thousands of years. Lykalion is a story about punishment, transformation, and the boundary a human should never cross. It is a tale of how easily one can lose their humanity and how difficult it is to regain it. Was he a monster? Or a victim? Did he truly exist? Or is he only a metaphor for the wild, untamed nature each of us carries inside, waiting for a moment to break free? Now a question for you. How do you imagine Lykalion, more as a wolf or as a hybrid of man and beast? Are werewolves, in your opinion, symbols of fear or of tragedy? And which myth about a human turning into a monster do you find the most terrifying? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to read your interpretation. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Many more dark stories await.